Hello, welcome back to Turntable Guy. On the bench today we have probably the rarest turntable I've ever seen. It's a Mitsubishi DP-EC8. This is very similar to the Technics SLMA1 as far as features. It's a fully automatic logic controlled arm with an optical sensor that shoots probably an infrared light into these slots, which tell the microprocessor what type of record is on the platter. So the owner of this one, who bought it new, he said a little while ago the arm started ignoring what type of record was on the platter, and it just travels to the end and I believe back. So I'm going to make this video, and I'm not sure if there's going to be a resolution of this one or not, and I'm probably going to do it in parts because I really have no idea how to tackle this one at this point. I'm going to check to see if there's a service manual online and check some forums and other sources to get some information on this table. I have never seen this. I have never worked on a Mitsubishi before. I'm not sure if they manufactured their own tables or if they was subcontracted out to another company. But this one's a new one for me. So let's put a record on the platter and see what it does. I'm just looking right here. This is very interesting. This is the power switch. So I guess nothing works until you actually turn it on. Oh, there's the LED just came on. So there's your power switch. That's new. Oh, no, it just said 45. 33, 45, 33. Oh, I guess it goes back. Repeat. Manual speeds select. Let's put a record on there. So this is obviously a LP, so by pressing start, the computer should tell this arm to come to the first track. So let's see what happens. I can hear a motor. And it's just, you can hear the motor engaging right now. It's not stopping. So if we hit stop, that works. Pretty high tech. Let's see if the queuing works. The manual works, right? So when you lift the arm up and move it over, it works. When you bring it back, it stops. Just want to see if the queuing works. The queuing works, but it sounds like whatever motor is inside this deck, it sounds like it's struggling. Queued up. Oh, it's very tight now. The arm is frozen. Doesn't want to move. So we hit stop. Okay. If I were to guess before we open this up, I'm going to say that this turntable obviously has some kind of belts or gears that move the arm. I'm going to guess that either we've got some sloppy belts or some possibly some motors that are dry or need lubrication. But I think that's a great place to start here. So let's remove the platter, because we're going to turn this one over, and I'm gonna remove the head shell as well. That's got a nice VMS Ortophone, a VMS 20 EB. That's a nice cartridge. Okay, we'll unplug it, And nothing's going to fall out, right? No, everything's nice and solid. Okay, so we're going to turn this over. And open her up. So what do we got here? A few screws here. Let's take them out together. Yeah, never worked on a Mitsubishi before. I'm just trying to read here upside down. Mitsubishi Corporation, made in Japan. Didn't say anything else. It's very heavy, by the way. It's very weighty. Nicely built. I'm sure this thing wasn't cheap back in the day. Very interested to see what's underneath this thing. Looks like one more. Just like I expected. Belts, big Sankyo motors, so it's good quality stuff. Here's our motor here. We're going to probably give it a service too. Got a, that must be an R, is that a power? That's our power switch right there. Right here. So this semicircle here turns on your power switch. Doesn't look like any leaky caps. Big Nippon Chemicon here. And this looks like an optical sensor here. This is interesting. The Tonearm wires are attached. Looks like they're soldered, but to this these little mounting posts here. That's different. It's grounded. That's our optical sensor over here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to reseat all the connectors. All right. And this is something that, you know, it doesn't hurt. So you just grab that, just reseat them, reset your connections. By doing that, you freshen up the connections, right? So just do it a couple times here. And one more here. Okay. That's the first thing. Next, I think what we'll do is we will service these belts. Have a look. They're a little oblong. And they are the same size, looks like. And maybe what we'll do is we'll service these motors as well. Oh, that whole thing shifts. Does this one move? No. Why don't we service these motors too? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it seem bad. Bearing's a little out on this one. sure they've never been lubricated. There is grease on here. I'm going to clean the pulleys first with a little alcohol and Q-tip. So we'll just take care of some, just the usual mechanical stuff first, right? Belts, clean grease, stuff like that. And then we'll go a little deeper and we will have a look at electronics. And that's where what I'll do is, if this doesn't solve it, I'll go back and I will see if I can find a service manual for this thing and look through it and do some research, and then I'll film the second part, and hopefully there's a solution out there. Or usually I found that if there's one problem with a turntable, pretty much everybody's had the same problem, right? So one of these, I'm just smelling the grease. One of these is obviously for the arm, and one of these is obviously for the queuing. Right now we're just cleaning these pulleys. Like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a drop of oil into the motor. So I'm just going to turn this sideways. And I'll put a drop of oil in the motor. Like that. Spin it a little bit. Let that wick down. And then we'll do this one here. A little drop. And let that wick down. Yeah, I don't think it's a motor issue. Could be belt. So what we'll do is these belts are not awful by any means. They're a little bit, you can tell this one's been sitting in this position for a long time. It's a little oblong. You can boil your belts. What you can do is you can put them in a glass of water in the microwave and bring it to a boil. And what happens is they usually return to their round state. But before we do that, I'm going to clean them with some alcohol. Get rid of any grease that might be on them. My guess is not that many people probably have this turntable. And although it can make for an interesting video, I find that the videos that you get the most views on are the ones with the big brand names, the Techniques, the Duals, right? Project, Riga, stuff like that usually gets lots of views. You put Mitsubishi or JVC, or I think I did an NEC once, it just doesn't garner the views because people are usually heading over to YouTube because they have a genuine problem, not because they want to be entertained by a turntable video. So, but I do appreciate the people who do watch the videos just for entertainment purposes. All right, so I wonder if I have anything that's even close to this. I do have a bunch of belts. Let's see here. I don't know if I had anything that's small though. Nice if I did. Not too big. That's probably the smallest one I've got. It's good to have selection of square belts like this. Maybe. Want to try? Let's just try. Let's see what happens before we put that one on there. It's a little, way too thin. Way too thin and way too long. No good. I don't have anything smaller than that. it's got to be a certain thickness or it won't spin. That one's not bad. I don't think there's any way to move the motor closer or further away. Yeah. I just got grease on it. Okay, let's see here. No, that's too loose. Too loose, too small. It's going to be a really specific belt for this. But let's try putting the originals back on. And then we'll flip it over and we'll have a quick test. They're loose. They really are. There's no doubt about it. And that could be part of the issue as well. Let's see what happens. That one's better. Now let's get a quick give it a quick go here. We're not going to screw the bottom back on, but you have to have the base on to test it. See, these are the optical sensor here. It beams off here, and there's an optical sensor. There's two tiny sensors there and there under the platter, and they have to go through these little holes in the mat here, so it has to be lined up correctly. You'll feel it drop in. Let's put our head shell back on for weight. Plug it back in. Power it on. Let's see what happens. Nope. No difference. There's the arm lock. So you get the cueing, it's like the arm locks. No. This one's not going to be easy. Hey guys, I usually don't do handheld videos, but I just want to show you where I'm at here. This here is the light sensor bar. There are three little light bulbs. Let me just put it up here like that. And what they do, from the bottom, this board here, there's three bulbs that shine through three tubes, and they go off these three sensors, 2 and 3. Okay, and as this plate goes along, it actually sits inside here, and you see these three long openings. Well, they're lined up with these three sensors here. As they go across, they tell the arm where its position is. And over here, this is the stop mechanism, and it's a reflective sensor. So when this plate comes across or comes back, shuts the arm off. So that's where I'm at right now. I have replaced the 3 bulbs. Now I didn't have any incandescent bulbs. So what I've done is I replaced it with 3 small LEDs, yellow LEDs, and I put a 1.8K resistor on, there's 3 power lines here. There's the purple, the blue, and the green. Okay, they're sending the power into this board. And you can see where I've got the shrink wrap there. 1, 2, and then the third one's up here, right about there. So those are the 3 positive leads that are coming in, and they are supplying 9 volts. So I put a 1.8K resistor with 3 tiny LEDs. So what I'm doing right now is I'm buttoning it all up, and we're going to give it a test. Right back. Okay, so I'm doing this live. I just put the base back on, turn it on. We do have power here. So we're going to find out what the hell this thing does. So remember, I've replaced the 3 incandescent lamps with 3 LEDs. So let's see here. Start. It's spinning. That's a good sign. Come on, baby. Oh, at least it dropped. It didn't go to the end. So something's out of adjustment now. Let's pull the bottom. This is very exciting. Let's pull the bottom off and see. Let me try stop first. It's stopping. Okay, it's not returning all the way either, so it's definitely too far inwards. So we've got some adjustments to make. So let me get the bottom off again, and we'll try again. Okay, so this is the plate I'm talking about right here. And it was going in too far. There is a little adjustment here. Screwdriver. Here we are. We're going to loosen this screw over here. And I think what we'll do is we're going to move this plate inwards a little bit. Or should we move it back? Now my logic's not working here. So if I move the arm goes this way. It's going in too far. I'm just trying to think out loud here, sorry. I know there's some adjustments up top as well that we can play with, but let's loosen this. And let's move it this way. So it comes in a little sooner, perhaps, or so the arm's locked. Okay, the arm's seated. So when the arm moves, this plate comes in, and my guess is this is 33, so 30 centimeters. So from here to here, and then this must be 45, and this must be the end of the record, right? That's my guess. So when each of these empty spaces hits these 3 light sensors, should be in business. So it's just a matter of maybe moving this in a little bit more to here. I'm going to try right there, see what happens. I'm not tightening this up either. And this is part of the, you know, the fun is that we're just adjusting until we kind of get it right. a record on there for the sensors to work correctly. Power on. Start. Better. So maybe now we can play with the adjustment. Actually, I do want to hit the, I want to try the auto return here. Let's see where it stops. Now, we're still a little early here. So the manual says that these two screws up here adjust the, let me take this lid off here. These two screws here adjust the lead in and the lead out. Whoopsie, at least the manual's still working. And I'm just going to check. I did find a service manual. It's on vinyl engine. And let's see here. Okay, so yeah, lead in position screw here, armrest position screw here. So, lead-in position adjustment. If the stylus fails to descend correctly into the lead-in groove of the record, adjust the position according to the following procedure. Place a 30-centimeter record on the platter. Press the start button. Check to see. We know it goes too far in. Okay, it says turn the lead-in screw with a Phillips screwdriver. And that is not a Phillips screw. That's a slotted screw. If the stylus fails to descend correctly, okay, turn slightly either clockwise or counterclockwise. Well, it doesn't tell you which way to go. All right, let's guess. Let's go with a slotted screwdriver and lead in. So let's go clockwise, and we'll go quarter turn. See how that works. Oh, that's worse. Okay, so we definitely want to go counterclockwise. So we better do a half turn counterclockwise now. Okay, so quarter, half. Ooh, baby. Let's try that again. This is very exciting stuff. Okay, we know that's not sitting right. We're going to adjust that too. Oh, that's almost perfect. I just want it just a smidge off to more towards the edge. Just a smidge. Right there. Try one more time. No, that made it worse. It said that this... Woohoo. Oops. I think I hit the wrong button there. I hit start again instead of stop. And making it worse. They say that this screw, what do they call it? It's an eccentric pin, so it eventually you can keep twisting it and then it'll go back to the beginning kind of thing. Just a smidge more. Tough to find the slot. Trial and error. Damn, that's close. All right, let's try the other one. Sometimes Here's the stop. So I turned it counterclockwise. And it did nothing. Straight clockwise. You're seeing where I'm going with this, right? It's just trial and error, trial and error. I'm not going to bore you with this much longer. Oh, like that. Just a smidge more. You know what? I'm happy with that. It's just the start I need to mess with. Let me continue to play with this, and then I'll come right back. Okay, I think I've got this where I want it. Sorry for the handheld stuff, but there's just no way to show you some of the intricate details of this sucker without sorry, I thought I heard a motor going. Okay, so adjusting it, I went back underneath and I adjusted that light sensor plate again. I think I have it where I want it. Can't ask for any better than that. I mean, this thing went from acting crazy to working, and luckily enough I had some LEDs. Keep some in my here they are. So that's what I used. Just some standard, I don't even know what voltage these are, but they were not liking 9 volts. They were blowing up like crazy. So I nuked a few of them doing that. But yeah, they fit into the slots where the old incandescent bulbs went. Just lined up with the anode, the cathode, positive, negative, and put a 1.8K resistor on them. And Bob's your uncle. She's done. So there you go, folks. This is a Mitsubishi DP-EC8. It's a quartz lock, full logic control, and it was a pain in the ass, but boy, this guy is going to be happy because this thing's been sitting in a closet probably since the late 70s. I think this thing's like 1979, 80. Pretty high tech for an old machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the usual stuff. I'm going to lubricate the main bearing and motor. We'll set up the arm, get the anti-skating set up, all that kind of good stuff. You guys know how to do that, so you can check out any of my other videos if you're interested in basic turntable lubrication services. But we're going to call this one done. Wow, that was quite the job, but very satisfying to get this one fixed. I'll probably be posting this one in some forums, maybe on Vinyl Engine or Audio Karma. I've seen some people talk about bulbs there, but I don't think there's any way you can get the original incandescent bulbs anymore. So I might put my little recipe in there for LED replacement. Anyway, thanks again for watching Turntable Guy, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.